My name is Nickel, Nickel. As a lot of you guys know, YouTube's been kind of weird lately, so if you haven't turned on notifications yet, I would appreciate it if you did. All you have to do is hit that bell, check that box, and push save. That's it. It only takes a second, but it would help out a lot. But now let's just jump straight into the video. So this is something I don't think I've ever seen before, but if it was going to happen anywhere, it would be Korea. So over in Korea, two K-pop groups, Monsta X and VIX, decided to battle it out over some games of Overwatch. In case you aren't familiar with them, they both appear to be pretty big in Korea, and all the members of VIX participated in a survival reality show called Idol, and were selected by viewer votes, which in a way kind of sounds similar to the way that One Direction was formed by comparison. Monsta X were also formed through the survival show No Mercy, but they seem to be a relatively newer group. And obviously I don't speak Korean, but I'm going to try and explain this the best I can. So two members of each group, Min-hyuk and Ki-hoon from Monsta X, and Hyuk and Hongbin from VIX, said that Overwatch is their game of choice, so that's why they decided to battle it out in Overwatch. And one of the members says that he's done all kinds of FPS games like Sudden Attack, Counter-Strike, and AVA, but these days he plays Overwatch. And another member said that he stayed up all night playing Overwatch because that's what you do. And the first time he ever played Overwatch, he got 4 gold medals. In other words, they feel pretty confident about their Overwatch skills. Min-hyuk said that he plays Overwatch with members from other groups, like N Flying among others, but when he asks someone if they're good in Overwatch, they're too willing to call themselves a master, like a Lucio master or a Hanzo master. So his way of thinking is, if they are all masters, then he is the god of Overwatch. That's what he thinks of his skill level. Hongbin, the self-proclaimed Hanzo master from the other K-pop group, VIX, said that his sister worked for Sega, so he's been playing games since kindergarten. And he says that now he plays Overwatch because many celebrities play Overwatch together. And he lists off a ton of Korean celebrities that all play Overwatch together, and then he mentions who some of their best characters are. He kind of goes into explaining why he plays Hanzo, which really boils down to the fact that he thinks that Hanzo's skill just fits with him, and he likes the fact that Hanzo's from Hanamura. He also explains to the audience how you get a golden weapon, and the fact that he's actually gotten a golden weapon for Hanzo. And then he trash talks the other team from Monsta X because he doesn't think they're good, since no one he knows has talked about them. So his plan to win is just to walk around and then shoot his bow at their head, and then they will die. That's how he explained his strategy and how they'll win. And then basically the whole next portion of the show is just them playfully trash talking each other, checking out the set, having the two teams meet, and do a little more playful trash talk, until eventually they finally start off with a 1v1 on Lijiang Tower. And the very first matchup, they choose Reaper versus Reaper. And this is how the first few encounters played out.
안 맞나요 서로?
뭐죠? 저 맞다.
서로 안 맞나요?
붙는다. 저 막류가 빠졌고요 먼저. 야, 물량. 야.
봤어요 지금 봤어?
아, 리퍼전
맞나요? 봤어요 지금 봤어?
아, 리퍼전 하니까 치열하네.
Then in the next round, they go Reaper versus Genji. Then after losing to Genji as Mei, one of the members, IM, jumps off the map to kill himself and forfeit. Anyway, there actually is a prize to the group that wins. It's the Overwatch keyboard, and they really seem to like the keyboard. So they end up having each of the members face each other in a bunch of rounds over the course of several videos, which there's way too much to talk about, but I'll leave a link down below if you want to check them out. And you can see for yourself how the self-proclaimed Hanzo Master and Overwatch God perform. It's just a really interesting thing to see happen because I can't really imagine this happening in the US, at least right now. Maybe sometime down in the future this will be a normal thing. Maybe once the Overwatch League is up and running. Also, if you guys didn't know yet, Oasis, the new Overwatch map, is live on the regular Overwatch servers as of a few hours ago. Previously it was just on the PTR, but now it's live in the normal servers. I just wanted to mention it in case you guys didn't know, but that's something I might talk about a little bit more in one of the upcoming videos. But something that's pretty interesting is this next story, which was posted on the official Battle.net forums. And yes, this is not brand new news, it's just something I wanted to talk about because I haven't yet. As some of you guys know, Blizzard is celebrating their 20th year anniversary of Diablo. So in this post, they start off by showing artwork of a stained glass window that has 5 of their current franchises in the window: Warcraft, Hearthstone, Overwatch, StarCraft, and Heroes of the Storm. So in the post, they basically talk about the fact that you can get special in-game events and goodies in all of the Blizzard games, but they're all focused to celebrate things they love about Diablo, and the items and events will only be available for a limited time. So they kind of give a small sample of what each tribute is for each of the games. For Overwatch, it says, "Bring the battle for Sanctuary into the fight for the future with in-game sprays representing your favorite Diablo 3 classes, along with a new player icon modeled after the Lord of Terror. So that's going to be kind of cool. You're going to get a spray for Barbarian, Crusader, Demon Hunter, Monk, Witch Doctor, and Wizard. And depending on how far along they are with Necromancer, maybe they'll give us a Necromancer spray as well. For Hearthstone it says, in this tavern brawl, a hooded stranger awaits, holding a grim deck in his hands. Will you unravel the secrets surrounding this dark wanderer? Which kind of sounds like a mini adventure mode. For World of Warcraft it says, strange things are afoot in the world of Azeroth, and denizens of Sanctuary cross over into an unfamiliar world. For StarCraft 2 it says, put the Lord of Terror to work for you with a Diablo-themed worker portrait. In Heroes of the Storm it says, the battle for the high heavens continues, and a new Diablo-themed portrait is up for grabs. Can you emerge victorious on this hectic new brawl map? And then of course, probably the biggest one is in Diablo 3 itself. It says, recapture the feeling of your first playthrough of the original Diablo with the Darkening of Tristram tribute event. Venture through a reimagined version of the original cathedral in Diablo 3, and keep an eye out for some familiar items. This is something they actually talked about at BlizzCon, which is awesome. They're basically recreating the original Diablo in Diablo 3, and you get it for free as long as you have Reaper of Souls. And the Darkening of Tristram event is supposed to have a 16 level deep dungeon where you'll be able to fight all 4 of the main bosses from the original Diablo. And it also has something called Glorious Retrovision, which is basically a filter to make it look pixelated and grainy. And of course, to match the way the original Diablo felt, you're going to be locked into only going 8 directions. This next story is really short, and there's nothing really to it. I just thought it was kind of cool to see. Over in the Overwatch Singapore community, they put out a video called Happy New Year's, Welcome 2017, where in order to celebrate the new year, they just filled the game with divas ready to ult, and they all flew off Lijiang Tower and created their own fireworks. Here's a small look at the climax of the video.
Happy New Year! What the? Oh my gosh.
This last story is a pretty positive note to end on, and it has to do with Team Fortress 2. For those of you guys that play it, you're probably familiar with a map called Swiftwater, which is a single stage payload map. And Swiftwater was made an official map in the Meet Your Match update. Anyway, apparently the Team Fortress 2 community pulled together to help the author of Swiftwater keep his house and helped his son with lead poisoning. So in this Reddit post that has over 7,000 upvotes, he said, author of Swiftwater here. I want to extend a heartfelt thank you to the TF2 community. 2016 was a hard year. In March, my son tested high for lead levels. The health department determined my house could double as an x-ray blanket. Between medical bills and the cost of lead remediation, my wife and I were looking at some very difficult and heartbreaking decisions. It felt like the world was coming down on us hard. And then Swiftwater became official. Between Valve and the community stamp contributions, I was able to comply with all the health department criteria to make my house safe. Since my son's lead levels have been steadily going down, I can keep my family in my house, and my son isn't likely to suffer from long-term effects from the lead. I can sleep at night knowing I didn't mess up the life of my son. You guys helped that. And then he goes on to thank everyone who supported his map from the early days, to all the people that lobbied Valve to make Swiftwater official, to everyone who purchased a stamp, and of course everyone who just played on the map. So I just thought it was a really cool thing to see something like that happen, for a community to come together to help someone like that. If you were thinking about getting a Swiftwater stamp yourself, you can check out to see what it looks like, link down below in the description. One last thing before I go, if any of you guys want to submit stories for me to talk about in future videos, all you have to do is go to the Discord link that is in the description of this video, and once you're there you can read how to submit news. And that's all for today, guys. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a thumbs up, I would appreciate it. And if you haven't checked out some of these other videos on the channel, you can click on them to check them out, whether you're on PC or on mobile. Either way, it still works now. Thanks a lot for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.